What's up guys, my name is Crash Potato and this is the Misk Reliant. So the Misk Reliant is somewhat a starter ship, but somewhat not a starter ship. It comes with two size 1 weapons under the wing, as you can see here. It comes with the M3A laser cannons by default, which for size 1s aren't that bad. They're pretty decent, they're sort of well-rounded weapons. They don't really overheat and they don't do a pathetic amount of damage. And the interesting thing about the Misk Reliant is you can have size 3 on the wing. So yeah, it comes with end caps normally. And what I found more interesting than the weapon, I'll get to that later because it was quite hilarious, is on the right wing I was able to remove the end cap by placing the right wing's end cap on the left wing with the left wing's interaction, but I'm not able to place it back. So I'm not sure if this is meant to have two size 3s, but if it is, that would look even more ridiculous. But as you can see at the very top there, I've got two Misk Reliant utility mount caps. So I'm assuming we're meant to be able to have two size 3s, and you can see what it looks like with a size 2. Looks pretty reasonable. You know, it's nothing out of the ordinary. So we could have a gimbal, and this is what it looks like with a mantis, which when I first saw, I could not stop laughing. It looks ridiculous. It just looks like like at first I looked at it and I thought, you know, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like it belongs. But then from a distance, if you could have one on the other wing as well, I think it would look pretty cool. So the Misk Reliant is a $65 ship, which, considering it can have a size 3 and possibly two size 3s, is quite the bang for the buck. It doesn't have much cargo considering it is a starter cargo, but it's got enough to get you started. It's got enough to take a few crates, probably 2 crates, maybe 3 crates. So you can do very small jobs, and like I say, if you can have two size 3s, then it's going to have some extreme firepower. However, one thing to keep in mind with those size 3s before you get too excited is they are very far apart. I'm talking probably the furthest gun convergence on any ship in Star Citizen. Obviously excluding the really big capital ships and such, they're going to have massive gun convergence, but they're all going to be turrets. So even if we are able to have two size 3s, chances are you're not going to land two size 3s. I just phased through the door. So chances are one of them will miss and the other will hit. It does give you a bit more sort of versatility. It gives you a little bit more sort of forgiveness, but you're not going to really do a massive amount of damage. However, for $65, one size 3 is still pretty juicy. The size 1s on the wing, I sort of disregard. I didn't even use. So when we get into sort of the flight test, you'll see I don't even use the size 1s, because when you've got a mantis on your wing, there's not really much point for a size 1, because the pips will be at different distances, so you can only really shoot one at a time. And if I'm going to pick one, I'm obviously going to pick the big one. So you can see the cockpit of the Misk Reliant is pretty cool. It'd be cool if we could interact with all of those buttons eventually, but still pretty cool. The screens are a little bit sort of far away. I'm not sure if they come further down when we get into the flight. But one thing I do love about the Misk Reliant is the cockpit. It probably has the best cockpit of any ship so far, because it's just a dome. It is literally dome shaped. Even on the outside, it's got quite a concave to it. So other than those few struts, you've got really nothing obstructing your view. And I think the exploration variant of this, the researcher variant, would be extremely cool just for exploring, just for seeing new things, seeing new beautiful things, just because of that cockpit, because you're not going to have an unobstructed view. So without further ado, let's take this into the verse. So you can see our Misk Reliant there. It's on BO2. Where is BO2? There it is. BO2. So we'll take this thing out for flight test and we'll test out that GFC Mantis 220. So I do like the Mantis. I normally don't use it. You know, I've got them, but I don't use them. They're on rec. They're not on like permanent or anything. So yeah, they're nice, but they have their downsides. But for a ship like this, it's extremely decent. It just looks ridiculous. It doesn't look like it belongs. I can't get over the fact that it's just a massive gun on a massive wing, but it still somehow looks out of place. It's probably the most in place on any ship. It looks more out of place on every other ship, but I think just the shape of the ship just makes it look out of place. Let's close this back door so we don't get any unwanted Nardwells. And I'm assuming this little bit here will have a door that will seal, because otherwise, once that cargo bay is open, you're in space. Then you're in vacuum. There's nothing separating you from that cargo door. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's built that way because it's so small. Maybe it's built like fighter style, where they don't have
request to land approved.
Any sort of lock. So you can see what I mean by the screens. They're nice, but
request to land approved.
They're a bit sort of out of the way. But I suppose being out of the way is good. Now, one thing I didn't like about this ship is the wings rotate with the landing mode. And that I didn't like, because I wanted to fly with the wings horizontally, even in combat mode and flight mode, because I think it looks way cooler in horizontal mode. But you know, it doesn't really change the performance. Well, I suppose it does change the performance of the ship, but it probably changes it for the better. It probably makes it turn better, I would assume. And speaking of which, the turning's not too bad. It's fairly agile, but it's not super agile. It's a little bit sluggish, you know. It's not sort of fighter level, but it's also not really like freelancer or starfighter level. It's sort of in between a fighter and a freelancer, so it's got a bit of agility to it. But of course, it isn't meant to fight. It is a utility ship. It's a cargo ship. It's a very small cargo ship. But whether it's meant to fight or not, I've put a Mantis 220 on the wing, so it's gonna fight. It's definitely gonna fight. We're gonna shoot something with that big gun. So I was gonna go get some pirates. I could go to Korea. I can't figure out how to change these. So they've changed it from the thing. So I enable my my F3 to interact with the HUD, but I just can't click anything because it used to be on the helmet's HUD, but now that it's all moved to the ship HUD with 2.5, and I can't figure it out. So if you guys know how, if it's changed, I mean, I would assume it would still be F3 because that's still HUD interaction mode, but apparently not, because mine doesn't seem to be doing anything on any of my ships. So yeah. Alright, so let's jump to this unidentified signal source. So it's got a fairly amount of fuel. I don't know if every ship's got the same amount of fuel, so I'm pretty sure every ship's a 14% jump for that. So maybe they've not balanced the fuel, but I don't know, it feels like it's got a decent amount of fuel. It feels more, like I'm pretty sure it's normally a bigger jump than that, but whatever, I'm rambling. So let's go into cruise mode so we can get to this thing quicker, because it puts you miles away from the actual thing, and then you end up in a fight about halfway, and then you end up losing where the thing is every single time. Don't know if that's just me, but every single time I lose that red thing when I get into a fight. I get lost. I just lose my bearings. Don't know where I'm going. Don't know what I'm doing. But whatever. I don't really care about the actual mission. It's more just to test this thing in a fight. I could have gone to a com array. It would have been quicker. It would have been easier. And like I said, I could have gone to Korea and tried my luck fighting players. But I don't see this faring very well against fighters. I don't see it faring very well against Mustangs, Hornets, anything really.
If you know what's good for you.
Alright, so we got a pirate. Which one is... Okay, so that one is our Mantis. With my terrible aim. The Pip's actually lined up for me, but... Oh well. It's way too far to hit him. I'm missing every single shot. There we go. I don't know why he's flying away. Quite annoying, but we're still hitting him. See his friend. Where's his friend? Right, his friend's closer. I think his friend's coming towards me. Yeah. He is coming towards me. So we could probably get all of our weapons. There we go. Give him some damage. Damage. The pirates seem to be flying extremely weirdly. Oh, there we go. Got some good hits. Good hits. Oh, I thought he exploded then. We just got a little freeze. It's fine. A bit of those. I need just to let my weapons cool down. Ah, we missed. I think he's good as dead. He looks like he's not really turning. I'm not sure if he's dead or if he's just given up. So the combat music for 2.5 is pretty decent. I like it. It's a bit repetitive, but it's nice. This guy is coming back now. I see we killed that guy. Didn't really do it extremely quickly, but we did it. Let's see if we can kill this guy a bit better. Oh, there's some good hits. Good hits there, but we didn't kill him. Let's see if we can get him. Turn around. Wow. Finish him. Finish him! Oh, something fell off him. See a bit of his wing floating around. There we go, dead. That's a pretty quick kill for a ship of this size. It seemed pretty slow though. But trust me, the other ships are a lot slower. So we got another player going for the thing. I'm not going to be a douche and kill him. I'm a good guy. So let's get to this little thing and then we'll finish the video. We'll just get a little bit of an outside view on the ship. That's a point actually. Something that I could test out. If you keep it in flight mode and you get out, are you trapped or can you actually get out? Because this whole cockpit rotates. So we'll have to test that. So let's get closer. Let's get a little bit closer. I don't want to EVA. Oh, I didn't see that ship. Almost hit it then. I think. I don't know. Don't know how big our wings actually are. So the cockpit hasn't rotated. So, yep. I expected some weird stuff would happen there. So it's just thrown us at the glass. Which is a good thing in my books, because it means we get out quicker. I like a quick exit. It's normally with these ships you take forever to get out of them. You push all the buttons and you do all the stuff, and it's when you're being shot at and you just want to get out, it's too much hassle. Right, so.
Hey Jenny, think you could hit
So
on
we got that. We got our 2000 AUEC.
Contact.
Let's see if we can get back into the ship. I have a feeling we're not going to be able to get back into the ship. I have a feeling it's going to be weird because it's rotated. So that's something to keep in mind if you have one. Is make sure it's right. Okay. So yeah, if you stop your Misk Reliant, make sure it's in landing mode. Otherwise this happens. So I've got a lot of flying to do. So I'll see you guys in the next video in a bajillion years when I finally get back to my ship. Laters, taters.